Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out to all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about GoTrade's investment strategies. First of all, before we get started, I just want to let you know that all the information on this video and this episode is not financial advice. Make sure that you do your own research first before buying any kind of asset. Alright, let's get started. So this was the newsletter that's being sent to me by GoTrade. And let's discuss yung mga investment strategies na pwede nyong apply. So, dun sa previous edition, sabi nila, we wrote about timing the market versus spending time in the market. And alam nyo naman na mas trip ko talaga na magstay sa market long term. I don't really want to try and beat the market or try to time the market, try to time the bottom, try to time the top. That's not really my thing. We came to the conclusion that trying to time the market can be a very risky move, and I totally agree with that. We also saw that your risk reduces over time the longer you spend time in the market. Okay, so what's next? Ano ba yung next step? There are several investment strategies that investors can deploy. It depends on the individual and his or her preference, risk tolerance, as well as what their ultimate investing goal is. Some investors may have a low risk tolerance and may just want to have a small nest egg for their retirement. Other investor may want to attain financial freedom instead. So, I think consensus naman, lahat tayo gusto natin ma-achieve yung financial freedom. So, we can afford to be more risky with our investments. But of course, I mean, there's a learning curve dito sa investing talaga. And sa simula, you can stick with the strategy that is kind of low risk. Once you have decided what your risk tolerance is and what your investing goal is, the next step would be to figure out which investment strategy best suits you. Let's take a look at a few of these strategies. We will also deep dive into dollar cost averaging or DCA. I know that this term gets thrown a lot, especially if you're new to investing and if you're new to, for example, crypto as well. Number one, value investing. This was the famous investing strategy because of Warren Buffett. Value investors are bargain shoppers. So, diba, for example, may mga gusto tayong bilhin. Like, for example, kanina nag-grocery ako sa Panda Mart. Ang daming naka 50% off. So, kumbaga yun, naghahanap ako lagi ng bargain. And then, yung na-discount ko is around 545 pesos. So, yung bill ko talaga dapat is 1,545. Ang binayaran ko lang is around 1,000. So, sobrang solid na deal yun. And, kumbaga, sa investing natin, pwede rin natin i-apply yun. They look for stocks that they believe are undervalued, meaning stocks with prices they believe are below the intrinsic value of the security. This strategy is designed around the idea that when you buy a share, you are actually buying a part of the business. Value investors believe in the long-term potential of the company. Value investors stand to gain if they hold these stocks for long periods of time. Warren Buffett is the ultimate value investor. He believes in buying undervalued stocks and giving them a chance to appreciate over time. I know na hindi to very appealing, lalo na sa young audiences kasi they want to be, they want to become financially free and rich at a very young age. But if you follow this principle, this investing strategy, then I think it's almost guaranteed that you will be rich someday. You just have to be very, very patient. Some examples of value stocks include Bank of America Corporation, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup. So, medyo weird lang na puro financial companies yung minention nila dito. But, okay, let's move on. Number 2 is growth investing. Growth investors want investments that offer strong upside potential when it comes to the future earnings of stocks. So yung mga growth stocks is like, for example, mga tech stocks, no? It could often be said that growth investors are looking for the next big thing. And that's true. There must be evidence of a strong demand for the company's goods or services if it's going to grow. So we can compare growth stocks with cryptocurrencies. Kasi that is an industry that is rapidly growing. Even though it's on a bear market right now and like Bitcoin is just trading around $20,000, Ethereum is just around $1,100. Yeah, it's an emerging industry and we will see more growth in the next couple of years. There must be evidence of nabasa ko na yun. The company should also have a consistent trend of strong earnings and revenue, signifying a capacity to deliver on growth expectations. A drawback to growth investing is a lack of dividends kasi nga nagre-reinvest sa business. That's why hindi sila nagbibigay ng dividends. As these companies usually retain their capital and use the money to grow and expand their business. And isa pa magandang example nito is Berkshire Hathaway, yung company ni Warren Buffett, never pa sila nagbigay ng dividends. Some examples of growth stocks include Amazon, Tesla, Netflix, and Shopify. Number 3 is investing in the indexes. Investors who prefer passive investing rather than active investing may choose to invest in the US indexes instead of individual stocks. Kasi medyo mahirap din talaga, especially if you're picking stocks in the US. It's kind of hard to find gems, I'd say. Kasi hindi naman sa limited yung resources, but it will take you a lot of time and man hours. And a little bit of luck, no, to find those gems. Same thing with like cryptocurrencies. But if you invest on an index, then hindi ganun kalaki yung potential upside. But kumbaga parang nagsisave ka lang, no, ng pera and you don't really care about the current prices. So ito yung magandang i-DCA especially. Yung mga index funds, like for example, S&P 500. Investing in indexes is one way to build long-term wealth. For example, if you had invested $10,000 on the first trading day of January 2001 in the S&P 500, your investment would have grown to $50,900 by the end of 2021 without you actually doing anything. Yes, hindi siya like, hindi siya exponential growth na 100x, 1000x. But your money is still growing. And if kung nag-DCA ka lang, diba? Like for example, nag-10K ka, 10K every single year from 2001 to 2021. Then, meron ka ng 20 years, diba? So, meron kang $200,000 and hindi pa natin alam kung gaano kalaki yung naging growth nun. So sabihin natin, na doble lang. So, meron kang $400,000-ish in 20 years. Consistency is key lang din talaga. And again, patience. There are 3 main indexes for the US stock market. Dow Jones Industrial Average. The index tracks 30 of the largest publicly owned blue chip companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. Next one is NASDAQ Composite. Market capitalization weighted index of less than 3,700 stocks listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. It is usually heavily weighted toward the technology sector, so mga tech stocks. The next one, S&P 500, a market capitalization weighted index of 500 leading publicly traded companies in the US. Kaya sikat din yung S&P 500. If you would like to invest in the indexes with GoTrade, you could invest in the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Invesco, S&P 500, or Vanguard, to name a few. Ako personally, I'm buying Vanguard. Kasi ang baba nung, yung parang fee sa kanila, 0.03%, I believe, per year. Yun lang yung binabayad. And then, nakuha mo rin lahat ng mga dividends na binibigay din ng mga companies na nakapool dun sa S&P 500. So, I think nabigyan ako a couple of dollars this last quarter ng dividends from VOO. So, not really that bad. And if you wanna buy then itong mga indexes na to, meron akong link sa description sa baba. And yun yung what you call this, yun yung Go Trade link ko, referral link. I think $2. I'm not sure kung magkano makuha nyo, but yeah, meron kayong parang free stock or whatever. Yun yung makukuha nyo kapag ginamit nyo yung aking referral code. Then last one is dollar cost averaging. DCA is a practice of making regular investments in the market over time. For example, an investor may choose to put a fixed amount in an investment account every month. The benefit of DCA is that it avoids the ill-fated strategy of market timing. Well, again, it's almost impossible to time the market perfectly every single time. With the DCA strategy, investors capture prices to various price levels. This effectively lowers the average cost of each share. This strategy is suitable for investors with lower risk appetites as it keeps investors committed to investing while reducing the levels of risk and effects of volatility. And again, this is one good way to develop your investing habits. This strategy is great for long-term investors. For example, an investor who wants to deploy DCA would invest, let's say, $100 into their favorite stocks, such as Apple or Tesla every month. So, ito yung mga pros ng DCAing. DCAing can be combined with other investment strategies. DCA removes the emotional component of investing. And again, this game, investing, is an emotional game. It doesn't really... You don't have to be like super smart or a genius to be successful with investing. DCA requires minimal maintenance and becomes passive. DCA increases future potential gains as your average cost basis decreases when stock prices are declining. And I think kapag bearish ka yung sentiment ng market, it's better to deploy more capital and DCA in the market. And again, na-eliminate talaga yung kumbaga desire mo or yung need mo to try and time, ito na yung bottom, bibili na ako dito, then bumagsak pa pala ulit. No. So, matatanggal na yung pitfall na yun pagka nagde-DCA ka lang. Then, syempre, merong cons yung DCA. You need to invest a regular amount every month in order to effectively deploy DCA. So, dapat meron kang active income, first of all. And if you've got a persistently underperforming stock, even dollar cost averaging won't help much with your returns. So, it's still important to at least do some research on the companies and stocks you invest in. That's why DCA din is ideal for index funds. Kasi yung 500 companies na yun na nasa index fund, like for example, S&P 500, if a stock or a company is not doing well, tatanggalin sila doon. Kasi market capitalization yung basis nung 500 companies na pool, na nakapool doon sa S&P 500. So, pagka bumagsak yung stock price nila, then tatanggalin siya doon sa S&P 500. So, yeah, it's really that simple. Okay, lastly, not sure which strategy to deploy? Well, why not we turn to the ultimate investment guru and see what he has to say. Sabi ni Warren Buffett, DCA yung best suitable strategy for volatile markets. DCA is an investment strategy that he and several other investors deploy. Adam Trademan, the CEO and co-founder of BRD, a popular crypto wallet with more than 7 million users, he also uses DCA. Alright? So, pagka newbie ka pa talaga, I think, for me then, in my opinion, it's best to just DCA on index funds. And if you find a good, for example, a dividend-paying stock, then continue DCAing then. And of course, lalo na nga ngayon, bearish yung market. So, ang daming mga stocks, ang daming cryptocurrencies, ang daming dividend stocks na sobrang attractive ng prices right now. So, if you're waiting and if you're trying to time the bottom, I think it's good to just invest consistently and try to accumulate. And, it adds up over the years then. So, I started with just 10,000 pesos nung late 2018 with stocks. And I grew that portfolio in the millions. And consistent lang akong bumibili ng mga dividend-paying stocks. And then kapag nabigyan ako ng dividends, I just reinvest it dun sa company na nagbigay sa akin ng dividends. Diba? So, continue ko lang yung cycle na yun every single year, every single month. And yeah, I mean, just accumulate. For me, it's very effective, and hopefully it can be effective with you as well. So again, consistency lang, and spend more time in the market and have a long-term outlook sa investing strategies nyo. Alright, we're heading towards the end of this episode. Yung sources natin for today is GoTrade and 2 photos from Unsplash. Lahat ng mga links is matatagpuan sa description sa baba. End na natin yung episode here, guys. Sana may natutunan kayo, and if umabot kayo at the end of this episode, thank you very much. I appreciate you. If natripan nyo yung content ko, give this video a thumbs up, and if hindi nyo naman natripan, then give this video a thumbs down. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell para wala kayo ma-miss out sa mga uploads ko every single day. And another way to support the channel is through the YouTube membership. You can check out the link sa description sa baba to know more about it. And if ever meron kayong mga bibilin, for example sa Shopee or sa Lazada, kindly use my affiliate links sa description sa baba to help the channel even more. Thanks again for watching and listening, everyone. Stay safe. I'll see you on the next episode. Always remember, be Peso smart.